Hello everyone, welcome to Monday's market update. Today we're going to be going through the recent Bitcoin price action and just plan what the rest of the week looks like. It's going to be a quick one today, so let's get straight into it. So first things first, we know we're in this range. Okay, we know we're in this massive range. We know that our daily level is still intact. We haven't closed below our last daily high low, which is around there at 50 grand. We also know in the 4 hour we keep transitioning from bullish to bearish, but we're still in this 4 hour range. We know we broke down from this range, but we did not break down from the range convincingly, which meant we rotated, gaining acceptance back into the range and for a potential rotation up to the range high. We know based on that we have a lower range, and our range now looks like this. Okay, so in terms of this, we're going to look at our plays and see what the potential next trades might look like. So first things first, as of Friday, so prior to the weekend, we were saying that we're heading towards this 8-hour supply zone. And this 8-hour supply zone is where we can potentially see some sort of resistance, see some, degree of sellers stepping into the market. And that's exactly what we've seen. And besides that, we said we're looking to potentially short this 8-hour range, all right, given, clear change in market structure, which we're going to talk about in a second. And we know we have zones above us. We've got 1 hour and a 12-hour zone above us. But let's take a look at the price action. Now, if we use the bar replay tool to go back to perhaps where we were on Friday, and we're looking at a potential play here because we approached this range high, all right? So we approached this 8-hour supply. However, we also had a 1 hour supply zone above us, okay, which I didn't mark out. But for those of you who have obviously looked through your price action, looked through the analysis, you will see that we've got a 1 hour supply above us. And this is exactly what has stopped price. This is exactly where price has gotten that reaction from. Okay, so it's almost to the dollar here. So we can see as price rallied up, this is on the 2 hour, price kind of broke out of this mini range, hence why we've got this box meaning what we have here is a range. We have a range high, range low. We reclaim that range. You could see this as a potential accumulation, and a potential accumulation in the sense that we could rally up, making it that rally play. All right, so while we tagged this 8-hour supply, we got a tiny reaction from the 8-hour supply, and then we went back up to tag the 1 hour supply above us, and that's exactly where we are now. So let's see. So as of that time, what I posted, I said, well, we could potentially be in play for a PO3 here. Why? Because if you look at this break from this range, this break, although it was one massive, bull candle that took us out of that range, not a very convincing break. If you measure the distance from here to here, okay, and you perhaps superimpose this 50% mark onto this level, you can see that wasn't a very convincing break. And the reason we broke out of this range was simply to get some juice from this 1 hour supply above us. All right, so what I was thinking in that sense is that, well, if we've got the range over here, all right, and we've got a potential manipulation of retail traders, is there a possibility that we rotate down with a nice PO3 play? Okay, that's what we were thinking. Well, that's why I had box 1, box 2, and box 3. Okay, so let's see what transpired. I'm going to go down to the 15 minute, and we're going to see how that went on. So we had higher highs, high low, higher high low, higher high low, higher high. Okay, which means as far as our range goes, we need to at least break this level first before we can look to enter a short. Yes, we've tagged it first, all right, but what's going to happen next? So what price does is price rallies. Price plays around the zone, okay, and at this moment I'm thinking, are we going to get a secondary test off that range high, and that will make for a nice short. All right, so that's what we've been looking out for. All right, this is a bit slow. Let's make it times 10. And as we play that across, we can see price wicks that prior level, sweeps the initial high, gives us that secondary test. Okay, we do get that secondary test, but do we get a break in structure after? Let's take a look. Okay, so as of yet we do not. Why? Because that break in structure we're looking for is for this level to be taken out. Why? This is our last high low. If price did this, if price came down there and then retraced, I would have been in that short. Okay, and that would have been an excellent position to look for a short. So in this case, what are we looking out for now? What are our eyes on, and what are the potential high predictive probability plays? Where should we be looking to set these alerts, and where should we be looking to get involved in the market as based on the current price action? So based on the current price action, well, you kind of have to treat this as a range of itself. This being your start of the range, and this being, perhaps your range low. As far as your range goes, you've had tap 1, you've had tap 2. Okay, could we be setting up for a tap 3 for a nice Trinity Model 1 play, right, to rotate us all the way down? All right, so that's something we're gonna watch out for. Bearing in mind, this range can only do one of two things. Okay, it can either rotate from the range high, or it can break the range high. All right, it's not that hard. So in terms of what the range can do, if we see this as an entire range, okay, this being the range, well, yeah, of course, if you saw this as a range, you could have shorted that for a little scalp, but that would have been okay, $1,600, not bad. But at the time, it didn't look very attractive to me. Anyway, so here we've got our range. All right, so Bitcoin seems to be breaking out of this range right now, but it can do one of two things, which are it can break up, it can rotate down, or it can look to, after it rotates down, to break down. Okay. And so all we need to do as traders is plan for both options. So what I'm looking to do is to look, if in the case that we do break out of the range bullishly, I'm looking to get in on that retest, okay, for that further continuation up, perhaps up to that zone above us. It looks like we have a clear, 1 hour zone above us at the very least. Now, where is that reaction going to take place? Well, that reaction is going to take place perhaps, at a zone here. Do we have any demand zones in that range? Well, let's take a look. So in that range, let's take a look at the 1 hour. Yeah, but all right, on the 1 hour, we do have a zone. It's not fully confirmed yet. It will be confirmed if we break bullish out of the range. We have a 1 hour zone there. Let's scour across the price action to see whether we have any more zones. We have a 24-minute zone there that is confluent with that 1 hour zone. We have this zone, but it's already been mitigated, so we're going to ignore that one. Okay, so as far as our zones go, that's probably the most likely zone there. If we come all the way down, I'm going to be hesitant to enter along, because that means we're back into that range, and we're back at the bottom of that range. All right, so there's a higher chance that we just rotate and rotate down. So this would be my next zone if I am looking for a long. So I'm going to put a potential long trade there. Sorry, I'm just on hold to a supplier at the moment, so I'm listing in to see whether someone picks up. I've been on hold for the last 30 minutes, which is ridiculous. All right, so now let's see. We've got our zone here. All right, let's see what the volume profile is saying. Are we potentially going to get some sort of confluence within that zone? So let's take out the volume tool, and let's see what the volume profile is within this range. If we take the volume profile from that range high all the way to the point where we are now, oh, look at that. We've got a POC coming in at that range as well. All right, so this is a juicy area to look for a trade, look for that reaction. Now, am I simply just going to enter the trade when price comes to that level? No, I'm not. I'm going to wait for price to come, creating lower lows and lower highs. I'm going to wait for it to tag, and then after it tags, I'm going to wait for that change in market structure. I'm going to enter on that retracement and swing that all the way up. Okay, so that's what I'm looking out for in the case that we do break bullishly out of this range. I'm not going to enter on that break. That's just not how I trade. That's not my style. If you feel comfortable doing that, entering along there, feel free. But I'm going to wait for that retracement. Now, of course, we can also get a retracement from the value area high. We've got a value area high, POC, value area low. So for those of you who are new to trading, all right, the volume profile is a very useful tool to track the volume within these bars, okay, with time and price. So see, where are buyers and sellers stepping into the market, and that's usually a good indication as to where you can look for trades. All right, so we're looking for a long trade there in the case we break out. Now, in the case we is it possible that we break out just to tag this zone, retrace and carry on? Of course it is, right? But regardless, this is a key zone for me to watch, so I'm going to be looking for a short there because it is the 1 hour zone, as we mentioned earlier. So I'm going to put a potential short setup there. Okay, yeah, that's a long, so we're going to reverse that and put a potential short setup there. Okay, so this is just quite local price action. We haven't really talked about the global side of things. These are just scalps, right? Don't enter these trades and think you're going to hold it forever. Do not do that. Just get in, get out, get your profits. Worst case scenario, move your stop loss to entry and then let the rest ride. Okay, So that's kind of what we have. That's sort of the next two plays I'm looking out for. Now, is there a potential that we do not break out of this range? Of course there is. There is a potential. Why? Well, we've had tap one, we've had tap two. Tap two did give us an aggressive move down, even though we reclaimed most of it. Okay, is this just a scenario? We have tap one, tap two, tap three. Okay, and after tap three, we actually get the rotation down because we are distributing at supply and we are ranging at supply, and this is a high predicted probability zone. Now, there are reasons why potentially we're not going to go further up, and there are reasons why we potentially are not going to, break down. First of all, we're right in the middle of this range. We're kind of in the equilibrium of this range, so it's not unheard of to rotate to the top of the range. All right, hence why you have to consider your longs in that zone. However, placing a trade at the middle of a range is risky. Hence why I say, if you are trading in that zone, don't hold it for ages. Just get in, get out, get your profits, and keep it moving. All right, you are in the equilibrium of this range. You shouldn't really be looking to trade the equilibrium of your range. Let's look at what the volume profile of this range looks like, the entire big range. Okay, so what have we got here? As far as the volume goes, well, look, we're getting resistance at this value area high. All right, hence why we're getting that distribution there. Again, this is a key zone for a potential bounce. All right, but just be careful, guys. Be careful entering a trade in equilibrium. Just make sure that if you do enter a trade, you're monitoring it properly, you're exercising good risk management, and you are waiting for your confirmations. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm looking out for. We have printed a green dot on market cipher on the 8 hour, which is quite bullish. Also we've got this 4 hour green dot, which hasn't fully fulfilled itself, which is also quite bullish. So we do have bullish signs here to suggest yes, the idea we had 2 weeks ago is still in fruition. What was the idea? Well, the idea was, we rotated down, we had a Trinity model, we swept that, we swept low to take these stop losses, but we didn't quite take these out. And then we also looked to manipulate the retail traders in order to rotate all the way up. Yes, that's still in play. Yes, this all-time high is still in play. Yes, we could still come back up, and yes, we could still rotate and drop all the way down. That's still a possibility. But what we're going to do here, we're going to take these levels by levels, all right, and we're going to plan ahead, plan our trades, and trade our plan. Okay, so in the immediate term, in the immediate short term, that's what I'm looking out for. Just a continuation long there, and perhaps a short from that high. Now I am looking at this range to see if we do close above this level, we do have some more resistance over here, all right, but if we close above that resistance, well, it's a very high chance we're coming up for this range high. Okay, very, very high chance we're coming up for that range high. All right, but that's kind of it. That's what I'm looking out for locally. Don't forget, we are in a range. This has been a very, very elongated range. This range is now almost 67 days old. This is a 2-month range. Massive range, which suggests when we do get a decision, it's going to be a big decision. Big decision. All right, so there we have it. I'm not gonna go on and find little ancillary trades for you guys to consider, but as far as what I'm looking at, those are my next 2 levels that I'm looking to potentially enter. Actually, 3 levels. Level number 1, I am looking for a short from this third tap if we get a change in market structure. Okay, so if we get a change in market structure looking like this, I will be looking to enter that short to ride it down. Okay, and then I'm looking for a short at that 1 hour zone, and I'm looking for a long at this continuation if we do rally up. Now let's say we rally up like this, creating a high, and then we start to retrace. What am I going to do in that situation? Well, I'm going to pull out my fib. I'm going to draw my fib from the low to the high, and I'm going to see where does my golden ratio come about. If it looks like this and it comes quite nicely into my zone, that gives me added confidence about that zone. Okay, and then I'm going to set my alert at that zone and wait for price to come into that zone before I look for a trade. All right, so there we'll have it. We're not going to make today as long as prior streams. We're just going to keep it simple. It's Monday, and those are the trades we are currently looking at. Okay, so I'm going to see you tomorrow, and hopefully your trading is going well. And don't forget to hit the follow button, hit the like button if you found the information useful or just indicative of potentially what you might be looking at already. All right, anyways, you guys have a great evening.